Trump calls for defunding the FBI. This is something I have been saying for a long, long time. We need to get rid of the FBI. They need to go because they are the political arm of the Democratic Party. They're not they're not concerned with anything that the left is doing. They're only coming after law-abiding citizens and conservatives. It's crazy. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store where I have I Will Not Comply t-shirts, so check those out as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Former President Donald Trump on Wednesday called on his fellow Republicans in Congress to slash funding for the U.S. Justice Department and the FBI one day after pleading not guilty in New York to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. It's a bunk charge. Everyone knows this. And they stacked the charges on top of that. They're really not 34 felonies. This is the whole thing is ridiculous. But Trump, who is seeking to regain the presidency in 2024, took aim at federal law enforcement authorities, even though the historic criminal charges against him, the first brought against any former or sitting president, were pursued by the Manhattan District Attorney. Again, now this is a district attorney, Manhattan, a city, a part of the city. This is not even like a state or anything like that. This is ridiculous. But, quote, Republicans in Congress should defund the DOJ and FBI until they come to their senses, Trump wrote on his social media platform. DOJ stands for the Department of Justice, of course, but I don't think he's going far enough. He's talking about defunding them until they get to their senses. No, they need to disband the FBI altogether, not just defund. But Trump's proposal would be a sharp turn for Republicans who, in the past, have supported robust funding for law enforcement and have criticized proposals from some of the left in recent years to defund local police departments. The FBI, part of the Justice Department, is the U.S. Domestic Intelligence and Security Agency. Trump himself appointed the current FBI director, Christopher Wray, after firing his previous chief, James Comey, in 2017. Trump backed spending increases for the Justice Department while serving as president from 2017 to 2021. That I don't get. These are the same people that's coming after you. Why would you give them increases? But I mean, Trump have done so many things that that make me wonder, make me question. Like, why is he doing this? Because this is one of the things that just didn't make sense to me. But its budget increased 4% during the span to $38.7 billion, White House figures showed. And President Joe Biden, a Democrat, has asked Congress in his budget request for the fiscal year beginning October 1 for about $50 billion in funding for the Justice Department, an increase over current levels. Trump faces 2 Justice Department criminal investigations led by a special counsel appointed by U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland. One focuses on efforts by Trump and his allies to overturn the results of the 2020 election that he lost to Biden, from what they say. The other focuses on classified documents that Trump retained after leaving office. Now, Congress appears unlikely to follow through on Trump's demand, and Republicans control the House of Representatives and Democrats control the Senate. Republicans have called for sharp federal spending cuts in return for voting to raise the U.S. debt ceiling, but have yet to put forward any specific proposals. The FBI on Wednesday declined to comment on Trump's remarks, and the Justice Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Of course, they're not going to respond to that. But reduced funding for federal law enforcement also would not affect another criminal investigation involving Trump, led by a county prosecutor in Georgia, focusing on whether he unlawfully sought to overturn his 2020 election loss in that state. The office of Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan District Attorney, charged Trump on Tuesday with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records over allegations that he obstructed payments to 2 women before the 2016 election to suppress publication of their sexual encounters with him. And that is not illegal anyway. And he didn't use any campaign funds. He used his corporate funds to pay for this, supposedly. and that is not a crime. Even if that is true, that is not a crime. So I don't know where they're coming up with these 34 felonies. It's ridiculous. But prosecutors said the payments to adult film actress Stormy Daniels and former Playboy model Karen McDougal constituted an attempt to conceal a violation of election law. Opinion polls show Trump as the frontrunner for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination as he seeks to deny Biden a second term in office. Trump over the years has complained that law enforcement at the national and state level were targeting him for political purposes, and his fellow Republicans in Congress have held hearings to examine what they describe as weaponization of government. He and his allies have accused Bragg, a Democrat, of bringing the charges for political reasons. Bragg, in comments after the charges were brought on Tuesday, said he has a responsibility to ensure everyone stands equal before the law, except for unless you create you have a violent crime, he'll let you out with violent crime. See, this is the stuff that doesn't make sense. But Trump appeared at an arraignment in New York on Tuesday before flying back to his home in Florida to make public remarks. He declared himself the victim of election interference without offering evidence of Reuters IPSOS or OPSOS poll released on Monday found that 51% of Americans, including 80% of Republicans, said they believe the charges are politically motivated. I mean, that's a lot. I think mostly everyone knows that this is politically motivated, even people on the left, but they're not going to admit to such. But the judge in the Manhattan case, Juan Merchan, has set the next hearing for December 4th, when campaigning for the Republican presidential nomination will be intensifying. Legal experts have said a trial may not get underway for a year. Indictment or even conviction does not legally prevent a person from running for president, even though the left tried to say it does. In court on Tuesday, prosecutors raised concern about Trump's social media posts, which have included a warning he made last month that the United States could face death and destruction if he were charged, and posting a photograph of him holding a baseball bat next to a picture of Bragg. Merchan asked Trump's lawyer to remind him to refrain from making statements likely to incite violence or civil unrest or jeopardize the safety of individuals. The judge said he will, quote, have to take a closer look at the issue if Trump were to make posts like those in the future. At the Justice Department, Special Counsel Jack Smith has seemingly accelerated his Trump-related investigation in recent months. Trump has sought to block some former top aides and attorneys from being compelled to testify before the grand jury hearing evidence in Smith's two inquiries. Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador said on Wednesday he does not agree with the charges brought against Trump. Quote, supposedly legal issues should not be used for electoral political purposes, Lopez Obrador told a news conference in Mexico. So even people in Mexico know this is a sham. This is crazy. But let me know what you think about all this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.